Next on deck with Tim Black.
Are not actually operating based on merit? Why is it that we have a culture?
There was affirmative action for white men for literally hundreds of years in this country, for hundreds of years.
Joe Biden didn't get Kamala because of DEI. Joe Biden got Kamala because without her, his campaign would have DIE'd. Okay? Tim Black's gonna put some hot sauce on it on this round. Well, I've been talking about DEI. It's been a conversation everywhere. Here goes CNN people talking about the DEI stuff that Trump's been doing. This is an important segment, guys, because when I'm hearing people talk, some people are repeating these things.
The Republican Party, Donald Trump, his vice president, called her a DEI hire, said that she was not—
I didn't call her a DEI hire.
I'm not talking about you. I said the people running for office against her called her a DEI hire. To your point, everything is being blamed on DEI. California fires, DEI. Trump's shooting, the rally at the Trump shooting, DEI, even though the head of his detail is a white man. Right-wing commentators talking about plane safety, saying planes are going to crash because of DEI.
But to that point, you had a video of a firefighter in Los Angeles, right, talking about the diversity in recruitment and saying that a person who gets themselves trapped in a fire is their own fault.
Person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
That a person who gets themselves trapped in a fire is their own fault. Okay. You have to see how ridiculous the American public views.
Okay, first of all, it sucks to be this guy. Looks like he's a Republican guy on the bench. I guess Scott took the day off. There is no defense in this. No defense in saying everybody black is DEI. That's goofy. Do you think Biden would have picked Kamala if she was white? Be honest. There ain't no damn way that Joe Biden would have picked Kamala if she was a white woman. Impossible. Okay? And if she was a white man, doubly impossible. He never would have picked her. Okay? Point blank, end the conversation. That's not DEI, that's politics. He was playing not DEI, politics. So I'm joking when I say it's DEI. That was a political move. It was done for political expediency. It helped him politically. That's why he did it. He did not do it to help all the black people. He did not do it for diversity. He did it because it was a self-serving move to get black women to vote for his ass. What I can't stand, and this is why you come to the Tim Black Show, these Republicans won't keep it real. That's why this show is so damn important. Joe Biden didn't get Kamala because of DEI. Joe Biden got Kamala because without her, his campaign would have DIE'd. Okay? That's why he got Kamala. Let's stop acting crazy. And to my Republican brothers out there, you go against the Democrats, you call them out, and I agree with you on that. But when you cannot keep it real, when you have to bend in everything Trumpian or bend to everything MAGA says, whether it make damn sense or not, you hurt your damn selves. But I appreciate it because it gives me content. So keep up the good work. Now let's talk about the wildfires real quick.
Talking about the diversity in recruitment and saying that a person who gets themselves trapped in a fire is their own fault. You have to see how ridiculous the American public views that.
That happened. But Joe, did they cause the wildfire?
No one caused the wildfire. Did that individual
or even that ideology prevent the Los Angeles Fire Department from putting out a wildfire, 5 wildfires?
But it's saying that particular firefighter is saying that she, I don't want to misgender her.
Abby scores the point. What is this guy talking about? I mean, he don't have much to work with here. But Jesus Christ, Johnson. Your retort to Abby should be, look, I'm not talking about who caused the fire. I'm talking about why the fire wasn't put out more effectively, why was the response so slow. And I'm looking at those people that were in charge at those particular stations and how they conducted themselves on the job. That still won't make the point that it's DEI, because I don't think it was. I know you can't tell the truth and just say, it's DEI because Trump said it. Or it's DEI because people in the MAGA movement said it. And that's how my money's made. And I want to live indoors. And I got to be able to go home. And I don't want to get harassed online. And stuff like that. I just got a new car and I got to pay the car note. Whatever it is. I know you can't tell the truth. Look, I covered the wildfires from bell to bell, okay? And there's still flare-ups. The problem with the wildfires, you can't contribute or attribute that to DEI to any extent other than to say there was some funding issues. Now, did those funding issues have to do with that? Maybe you could go the money route. Maybe you could make an argument about how some of the money was spent on some other programs. But that's an avenue I did not take. But definitely you can't say it was because this one woman. No, man, it's structural things. It's lack of equipment. It's not having 100 pieces of fireman materials, apparatuses for fighters to use. It was the money. It's the water not in the reserve. It's so they didn't have access to the tools to fight the fire. It's also the natural occurrence of all this shit going on at one time as well. It's a great petri dish of a lot of things wrong, intentionally done wrong. Like when you underfund, when you have less than 100 fire stations that have been asked to be put in, you ain't put them in. You spend money other places. That's falling on the governor. So there's a lot of stuff, right? It's a lot of stuff.
Her and get more trouble, but she is unable to lift someone out of a fire, and it's the person's fault.
Does that have anything to do with the wildfires and the ability to stop
I think a person's ability to carry someone out of a fire is a pretty
I'm talking about the wildfires and the ability to stop them. What does that have to do with it?
I don't think DEI was.
Ben Shapiro is strawmanning the hell out of Abby Phillip, and I'd be disagreeing with Abby, and I'm gonna disagree with her a little bit later in this video. But for right now, Chunky is strawmanning the hell out of this segment.
Responsible for setting a fire. That's not what they were saying.
Clearly was not.
But
and
that's
it clearly
what people
was
said.
Not responsible for
but also
being able to put out the fire as well.
Also, I hear you, and I'm glad you don't think discrimination should happen. But our sitting president actually does, because he discriminated against black people. He did not want them to be able to rent from him, and he is yet to repent.
Damn! When one has nothing to say, hey, let's say something from 45 years ago. Yeah, let's do that. Back when his dad ran the company and he just worked there. Yeah, let's go word back. You know, it's okay not to be a part of every segment, Allison. We see you. We see you, Magic. We see you sitting there. You ain't got to talk if you ain't got shit to say, man. You can't add to the conversation without pulling something out of your ass that's been sitting there for 40 years. You can just chill, man. It's cool, man.
And say it is wrong. It is something that is woven into our country, and I understand that folks feel like DEI has gone too far, but disparities exist for a reason. And
so you going into Jasmine Crockett's school of word salad extraordinarism. Say some stuff and figure it out as you go.
But I will tell you what the president has been guilty of. He has unfortunately been guilty of loving his child unconditionally, and that is the only evidence that they have brought forward. And honestly, I hope and pray that my parents love me half as much as he loves his child.
Say some stuff and figure it out as you go. I got no problems with you saying things about the whites, but make them make sense. She just conceded this point. Some people think DEI has gone too far. Why would you say that unless you agree with it?
That is woven into our country, and I understand that folks feel like DEI has gone too far, but disparities exist for a reason, and DEI was a tactic to ensure that people had equal opportunity. Now, I think the numbers will speak for themselves. I think, and I also, again, this goes back to the immigration thing. This whole like snitch on people that Donald Trump, they better be careful, because Donald Trump sits next to people that might.
What that got to do with anything we are talking about? See, I fought y'all. Black America, I fought you. Y'all been following her on social media, getting her hyped up. She won't be Jasmine Crockett.
get snitched on themselves.
Snitches
So
get stitches. Be careful.
I didn't want to say it. I was waiting for you. You from New York.
Let's talk about equal opportunity, right? Because this is what this is all about. It's about opening up the doors and removing the barriers that have existed for decades.
Okay, I got a feeling he's going to start off okay, but he's going to go the people of color route. Watch him. Watch him. I know it. I can smell it. It's got that kind of forehead.
Right? There is a reason why black people in this country only have 15% of the wealth as white people. So what are you telling us? Are you telling us that we are unqualified, unsmart, that we're not actually operating based on merit? Why is it that we have a culture?
There was affirmative action for white men for literally hundreds of years in this country. For hundreds of years, there was affirmative action for white men. And to answer your question, because my friend Abel would not, it is not because they're not working hard enough. It's because for centuries, they were locked out of education. For centuries, they were locked out of economic mobility. They couldn't even build wealth. They were set free in this country after being enslaved for hundreds of years with nothing. And then they were subject to another 100 years of Jim Crow. So look,
And
there are a lot of reasons for it, but it's not.
See, this is why I got a fundamental problem. Let me correct my man real quick. For every dollar that a white man has, on average, black people have about 13 cents. I don't know where you guys, I think you got that screwed up. So I disagree with your numbers, first of all. I wish we had 15 cents of the wealth of this country. That'd be great. But no, when we compare white to black, that's what a 15, and it's not 15, it's 13. But anyway, be it as it may. Why are y'all talking about black people when you talk about DEI, when you know damn well DEI ain't for black people? See, this is what I've been trying to educate people about. Now, if you say, Tim Black, does DEI help black people somewhat? I say, well, define somewhat. Because DEI consists of so many different groups. Stop telling us, stop putting out the false narrative that DEI is for black people. Well, white women benefit from DEI more than black people do. Just the same thing with affirmative action. Who should really be crying right now are white women. And maybe gay white dudes. That's who should be crying right now. Folks, DEI does not mean black. It means everybody except white guys. That's why the lawsuits came. And you know what? They deserve to put a lawsuit too. I'll go ahead and call me what you want to call me. I see you lurking. Go ahead and call me the names if you want. That's because you're not logical. If you say, hey, everybody else, even people that got here last week, should be able to cut in line in front of white people because they from another country or because they're Asian or Latino or disabled from somewhere else. That sounds crazy. There is no disenfranchisement of Asians. There was no slavery for Latinos. And any issue you had with how America did their country is something you need to take up in international court, isn't it? Take them to court in your country. Take the United States to court in your country. But you don't get to come to America and say that we make a program that makes all the people, all the different people, Latinos, Asians, Native Americans, I understand, but still that's a separate thing because they have sovereignty. But diversity means diversity of gender, of orientation, of religion. Those are groups too that account in diversity. So it's not just black people and white people, which is how they're making the argument. They're up here citing things, but they don't have the guts to stand there and say, black people deserve this and black people deserve that. Instead, they want to hide behind people of color. They want to table it as diversity. No, I'm here to advocate for black America. That cuts me off to a lot of people who don't give a damn about black Americans. But I think it's important that we advocate for black Americans. I'm also not advocating for the Democratic Party, which separates me from Roland and his friends, because they are talking to black people, but they're talking to help the Democratic Party. At the end of the day, whoever's running as a Democrat is who they're going to support. There's a difference. So be very clear. What they're saying here, I object to it totally, and you should too. The reason why is because they're using black people to substantiate a practice that's causing all this drama, and we don't even primarily benefit from it. Did you see the Latinos on TV today complaining en masse about DEI? Who should have really had programs about DEI going away? Are white women. So Nancy Grace, if she's anywhere, Megyn Kelly, she should have been talking. You know, all the white women out there. Tommy Lauren should be up, and even Rachel Maddow. What's Rachel Maddow? Did Rachel Maddow talk about this? That's who it helps. She gay and she white. 2 score. That's a jumper from behind the three-point line with a hand in your face. Bust her leg on a skiing trip, end up in a wheelchair, and she's a threefer. Shit, she'll be Elon Musk next week because she'll qualify for everything. Well, until Trump came. You understand what I'm saying? You get points based on diversity. Being a black man only gets me 1 point. And I'm up against a left-handed Asian dude with a speech impediment who's trans woman, like who was a veteran. All of a sudden, I'm at the back of the line again. And that's what I've been trying to tell people. You can't argue against me on it because it's true. Diversity don't mean black. It means everybody. But see, everybody didn't get water hosed down during the civil rights movement, did they? Everybody didn't get hung from trees on a consistent basis. Everybody ain't scattered all over this country in unmarked graves because of how much love we got from our founding fathers. So let's keep it a buck. Everybody wasn't even here until they opened the floodgates in the 70s, early 70s, when they decided to give us civil rights, and all of a sudden all this immigration happened. So some of us know the history and some of us don't. So we have these DEI conversations. I'm tired of the main culprits giving misinformation on black people trying to keep a damn job. And I know Abby Phillip knows this. She's a learned person. And this other glasses knows it too. Has he got glasses on? No, he doesn't. Forehead knows it too. These are facts. And the sooner we accept them, the sooner we can deal with them. DI going away is like being a Jehovah's Witness and then finding out Santa ain't real. You don't get presents anyway.
Not because
Can
they're
I
not
just say
working hard enough.
it perpetuates generation to generation. I would just encourage people who disagree with DEI to take time to sit down and have a conversation with a person of color.
Oh, God. Allison, you're not a person of color. You're a black-ass woman. Sit your ass down. And if you're already sitting, sit lower. All right, guys, thank you for being here, part of the Tim Black Show. We got 1 segment to go. Now would be a good time to tip your bartenders. Go to timblackmug.com, pick up a mug. timblackmug.com and get yourself a great mug. You heard?